and learn of me. Take my yoke. Drop the other yoke. Take my yoke. You cannot be yokeless. There's no yokeless living. You're either yoked or yoked with Satan. In this life, you must be yoked. So, we're talking about unnecessary yoke. Satanic yoke. Yoke imposed by situation. Yoke imposed by some circumstance. Unprofitable yoke. Yoke that limits you. Yoke that slows you down. That's not God's. So after Isaac had blessed Jacob, whom he's supposed to be Esau, Esau came and said, oh, well, I've given your blessing to your brother and he shall be blessed. I've given him command over all his brethren, over his mother's children and all that. And then Esau said, Lord, my father, didn't you reserve a blessing for me? Even one that is in there. You know what they call rale? Blessing. Okay, this rale I'm giving you. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, you will say, enough is enough. I've had enough of this. Life will not continue this way anymore. No. I won't perennially serve this sickness. No. I won't perennially be in debt. No. I won't perennially be stagnated. So when you will have the dominion, you grow in your authority, you will yank off the yoke. So why do we need the dominion? There's the second reason. I'll leave you with those two. You can't execute your mandate fully without dominion. You can truly be free, enjoy the liberty of the sons of God without dominion. Praise the name of the Lord. I said, praise the name of the Lord. So I'll take us to the next segment. And in this next segment, we want to address what I call preconditions for operating in dominion. Preconditions for operating in dominion. And I want us to begin with this, that those who will operate in dominion, and someone I think has mentioned this in passing too, must first realize that whatever dominion we claim to have or might want to have is going to be a delegated dominion. And I'll explain this. First Peter. Chapter 4, verse 11.
If anyone speaks, let him speak as the oracle of God.
If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God.
If anyone ministers,
If any man minister,
let him do it as if with the ability.
let him do it as of the ability which
God
given.
supplies. That in all things,
That God in all
God may be
things
glorified through Jesus Christ.
may be glorified through Jesus
To
Christ.
whom belong the glory?
To whom belong the
And the
glory
dominion forever and ever.
and dominion forever and ever. Who has the dominion? To him belong dominion, praise and dominion forever. Psalm, I think 60:11 says, once has he spoken, twice have I heard, the power belongs to God. So, anyone who has power, since power belongs to God, if I have any measure of power at all, it is delegated. Are we talking? To whom belong, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. He has praise and dominion. He has it. He is the owner of it. King James did not even say it very well here. King James said, to whom be praise and dominion forever. In other words, you give him praise. Just, Lord, we give you praise, give you dominion. But the New King James says, who has New King James in his system, in his hand? I want you to see how. I have it here, but I want someone to just to bear me witness. Yes, sir.
If anyone speaks, let him speak as the oracles of God. If anyone ministers, let him do it as with the ability which God supplies, that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom belong the glory and the dominion forever and ever. Amen.
To whom belong? To whom belong? You've seen missing items in secondary school, before school. You're like, to whom belong this biro? Have you heard something before? To whom belong these? They are looking for the owner. God is the owner of dominion. So if any human being has any iota of dominion, it is delegated. It's like I'm on my own right now. We're together? To whom belong? To whom belong? It belongs to him. Remember those crusade song of old? All power belongs to all power. All power. All power. All power.
All power belongs to God.
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 To whom belong? Let's widen the scope, ladies and gentlemen. In reasons, all things belong to him. He said, all these things are my hand made. Okay, landlord. Because you carry a handful of sand in your hand when you were born. Oh, thanks. I was chiding with those who want to make boast of their offering. Say, hey, the thing you want to give me as offering, the cattle on 1,000 hills, hey, they are my own. So what shakara are you doing with this thing? This is a prerequisite, a precondition for operating in dominion, that this thing is delegated. Quickly. Because it is delegated, there's a responsibility. Don't let me go up to that again, since you already mentioned why dominion was said, because there are duties, there are things to function. Now, because this is dominion is delegated, we are at liberty to use it, but not against the interest of the one who delegated it to us. The first July 1 devotional that I wrote for this one is titled Glorious Liberty. And then I used my son as an illustration. My last son, when we were in Port Harcourt, I think that was during my maybe second son wedding or something. I've asked him to go buy something. I drew a list of things to buy. And then I gave him my card. I gave him my ATM card. And then I gave him the pen. You test the maturity of your children and know when to release the pen. Don't you think God also does that? We are all children. But not everybody have the pain. So I drew a list of things to buy. I gave him the key of the car. I said, go and buy this stuff. And then he went and bought those stuff. By the time he came back to give account, because if the authority is delegated to you, you hold accountability to the one who gave you the power. Talk to me, someone. So when he came, I saw the list. And I saw an item that I did not include. But I could excuse. He bought a jar of mayonnaise. I guess it's for his personal use. So I didn't question it. I didn't fight it. But in that entry, I was saying, imagine when he returned, he came back with a pack of cigarettes. And a bottle of a bottle of Shinab. I've given him authority, but he's using it against my values. Then I will withdraw it. You're not hearing what I'm saying here. So though he had my card, he had the key, and he's at liberty. The glorious liberty of the Son can be used, but he has to consider my values. Consider my interest. Thank you, sir. Many times, believers just want to use power arbitrarily. You just want someone there to fall down and die, forgetting that that person also constitutes God's interest. And the fact that he offended you doesn't mean God has no more interest in that life. Is someone talking to me here? And that's why some of the things we project ourselves into don't work. You can't use, I can't give. They have a saying in politics that in politics you don't empower an enemy. Even in ministry. In military. You don't empower another person. You know, that's why when a party enters power, they assume office, they can't be giving contract and releasing money to someone who will use the money to fight them in the next election. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So how do you think God will keep giving someone power, dominion, authority, and begin to back him up to be fighting against his own interest? So you must know that authority, power, dominion belongs to him, and whatever we have, it's delegated to us, and we are free to use it, but not against his interest. Are we making any sense at all? So, part of knowing or preparing ourselves for dominion is to know that it is delegated, we're free to use it, but not against the interest of the one who has given it to us. And so we must also know to that extent, by extension, that there's accountability. We'll account for it. I don't know. I don't know whether there are retired police officers here or current police. I understand that they account for the bullets. Is that true? That if they shoot, they have to account for every shot. Or what? Or they have to pay for it, they can account for it. That's accountability. Next precondition for operating in dominion, the need for maturity. God's servant mentioned this yesterday. Doctor, I think you mentioned that yesterday. And he said something, one statement that he forgot everything you shouldn't forget. He said dominion is not for babies. Dominion is not for babies. So the mature, I'm just showing you already here today, and that before you begin to give your pain to people, you have to test the level of maturity. Before praise traveled, I think we're driving, maybe we're going Lagos to Kwara at that time. So we got to somewhere around Redemption Camp. We're parked to refuel. And then, so I gave my ATM card to Praise. He handled my account when he was around. So I just gave him the card, and then he put the fuel and all that and paid. And then the attendant was shocked. And then he asked, "You know your papa paying?" That's the attendant. He was surprised that a man, a father, could give the pin of his card to his son. "You know your papa paying?" He said, "If it is me, the account will clear." I said, "That's the reason why he wouldn't have the pain." That's the reason he will not have the pain. Because he hasn't shown